listening to Once, episode 168, The Snow Queen, Initial Reactions. Welcome back to another episode of Once, the unofficial podcast for ABC's TV show Once Upon a Time. I'm Daniel J. Lewis.
I'm Jeremy Laughlin.
And we're happy to have you joining us. If you want to provide your feedback on this episode of Once Upon a Time, then I'll tell you how to send that feedback in later for our full discussion. But we just finished watching The Snow Queen, and what an ending. I thought it was a really good ending. It brings so much mystery back to this that... yeah, there was a lot of fun stuff in this episode. There was some stuff that I felt was kind of forced in this episode.
Yeah.
But I like that ending, giving us something to really start theorizing about. Oh, what is it?
Remind us of the ending.
The ending was the indistinct whispering, as our subtitles told us.
See, apparently that was not what stood out to me.
Oh?
Yes, indistinct whispering was not what stood out, and I don't know why.
Well, it was that Rumpel is going to have to do something in order to...
oh, well, he said with pleasure, so he's got to kill somebody.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's Regina.
It's Henry. He's been working with him for like 2 weeks. He cannot stand the kid anymore. He was going to do it once. He's going to do it again. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Regina.
Because they've always had this kind of rivalry for a while.
And I just can't even.
So while Regina is making out with Robin at the end of this episode.
That was stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole honorable thing. You guys are kind of ruining it a little bit. I get what's going on with this story, okay? And I do want to see Regina happy. I do want to see her in love. But the writers need to kill Marion for that to happen.
Right.
Or something.
It's like it was cool. No pun intended. Yeah. Then they decided to put a notional frozen block of Marion somewhere in the plot so that we could sort of be confused.
Okay. Really weird idea. Just came to me. But...
no, she cannot be the ice sculpture at Robin and Regina's wedding.
No, this is an actual serious idea, and it may be a very good idea. It just randomly came to me.
Okay.
There's a movie, I don't remember what the movie was. You can comment on the show notes at oncepodcast.com/168. But there was this romance movie or drama where the guy's wife dies, and she is an organ donor, and her heart is donated to this other woman, and the guy ends up falling in love with that other woman, and then he discovers it's the same heart as his wife. I can't remember the name of that movie, but it was a really cute movie, really special. But I wonder if something similar is about to happen here in Once Upon a Time, because we both agree that what Rumpel probably has to do is something to Regina. Maybe he has to take Regina's heart. So Regina loses her heart, Rumpel takes it, but there is Marion's heart. What if, by some choice, I don't know who would make this choice, but what if they give Marion's heart to Regina?
Well, he's already in love with Regina.
Yeah, but this could be, I know it's not a complete thought here, like what would this necessarily accomplish other than saving Regina's life?
Well, but she doesn't need her heart to live.
Well, she needs a heart.
Well, I guess if he turned it into a thing.
The name of the movie, by the way, thank you, chat room. Amber in the chat room let us know. It's Return to Me is the name of the movie that I was referring to. Thank you. By the way, we do this show live on Sunday nights at 9:15 Eastern and Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. Sunday nights are full discussion. Sunday nights are initial reactions after the episode. And Wednesday nights are full discussion, including your feedback. And by the way, let me tell you how to send your feedback and your theories for that episode of the podcast. Email them to feedback@oncepodcast.com and put in the subject line of the email the title of the episode, so in this case, The Snow Queen. You can also call and leave a voicemail at 903-231-2221, or send a voice message through the website at oncepodcast.com through your computer or iOS device. That's also where you can go to join our forums and start your own conversations, have lots of other conversations with other people there. And you can pull apart this theory as much as you want there. But I'm thinking this could be a direction they might go. Like maybe they'll decide somehow, they'll just realize there's absolutely no way to save Marion. She is basically dead, even though her heart continues to beat. And if Rumpel
I hope not. Let's just add issues upon issues to this plot. Yeah. That'd be awful. It'd be really, really super controversial and not good.
I know. There are plenty of gray areas, and when you're telling a story...
Yeah, she's kind of on life support, but, she never signed a card either. She's an organ donor. Come on, guys. Let's just take her heart. Just put her heart in this other person.
And as Greg in our chat room points out, don't go stealing my heart.
But no.
It's a crazy idea.
It is crazy.
I would love to hear your feedback on this. Please comment on the show notes for this episode, oncepodcast.com/168, so we can hear what you think of it. I've come up with crazy ideas, and some of them I'm not sticking to. But this one, I think, could be something that will stay. I don't know quite what will come of it, but I think it could be something that we'll see potentially happen. I don't know. I kind of think it's a good theory.
I think the spell will be cast, and somewhere during that time, he will hate Regina for just a little while, and he'll love Marion, and he'll kiss her, and she'll wake up. And then she'll hate him because she'll get under that new spell.
Oh, yeah, there is that whole... You think that Ingrid is going to successfully enact the spell?
Yeah. How can they resist? For real. They're like, look at all the things we could do. Look at the people who would get to hit each other. Look at the fights we could have. Belle could finally get to slash at Hook with a sword. He's had it coming for quite some time.
And Happy may finally take his temper out on someone.
Yeah. No, she's definitely going to cast that spell. I think that was probably the motivation for the entire season. Maybe not.
But in this, part of her motivation is also alienating Emma. And I felt like the whole starting alienation thing.
Emma.
Yeah.
No.
From everyone else, or making Emma feel alienated.
Sure.
And I feel like some of that in this episode was a little bit forced. Nothing really stands out to me as seeing Snow and Charming afraid of Emma's magic.
Yeah, Snow was out of character because plot. I thought most of the episode was fine. It was enjoyable, but there was some of the, the condensed storytelling at the beginning that felt a little forced. We shall never see you as a monster because you've thought that far. Good job, little girl.
I am thinking back to when Regina was teaching Emma magic in Neverland, and I think Snow may have been concerned, like saying, this isn't a good idea.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's different from fear.
I don't know. I just feel like Snow always used to take a different approach to things. I can hear her taking a cautious tone, but she wouldn't forget. I don't know. It was weird.
Right.
And then at the end, she's all like, David, we failed today. I'm like, no, that was you, sister. He was like on the ground. You were the one who was like, Emma, how could you do this? I mean, first daughter, whom I did not just replace. I love you, and I don't know you very well, but
come give
I
Mama
you.
Mayor a hug.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
I think in one of our recent episodes, I messed up the birth order of the three sisters.
How could you? Yeah,
you did. Yeah, so I think, Jeremy, you were right then. Or someone corrected me, but I didn't accept it. Yes, Ingrid, Helga, Gerda. That's the order. Gerda was the youngest. She would have been last to accept the throne. The last candidate, that is. But she became the queen because of Ingrid's accidentally killing Helga. And it's kind of one thing that I think this episode put to rest is the idea that Helga was someone else strongly connected to some other character we know. Now we know, at least from this information, no, she's not. I mean, that's not to say she's an insignificant character.
No, but she was just... It's funny because by the time Gerda showed up and Helga was dead, it was kind of clear what was going to happen, and I was kind of like, I don't know why this wasn't sort of obvious from the beginning. It just made sense. I like it when those things come together.
Yeah, we had theorized that...
This was not a stupid plot development. This is how the story should have gone.
Yeah, we had theorized that Ingrid killed Helga or something, harmed Helga in some way, and that's why the kingdom decided to banish her to this. And some of the details we got incorrect, but overall,
I think the assumptions I was making that led me astray was thinking that, number one, the same thing had to have happened to both Ingrid and Helga, which was not the case. Different things happened to them. And I just assumed that the king and queen would have been the ones to ask for the memory spell.
Do you think that Gerda also lost her memories, or maybe that she held on to them?
She wouldn't have... No, because I don't think she would have been as confused or in search of answers over Elsa.
Maybe. But then again... Well, we've received some feedback recently, and I don't have it here to quote, but since our last episode of the podcast, a couple people had suggested that maybe Gerda made that note on the ship, the message in a bottle, and that was the whole story, or in some short form of the story of the two sisters, the other two sisters, what happened there, and some kind of warning or some information, or maybe it was that when Gerda went to talk to presumably Rumpelstiltskin, yes, it was him, because he did say, maybe he gave her the full story, and she's like, what? No, you didn't. And he shows her the ribbons, and that makes her remember everything, and curse broken, something like that. But still, we don't know what that note actually said, and I think though that note is going to come back. It has to. They made a whole scene at the beginning of the
opening
season.
But it'll have some vital information that we don't know yet.
It's kind of like at the beginning of season 3 when we saw Emma giving birth to some baby. That baby's probably going to be important. We're going to see him again somewhere.
What? Okay. What if the note is kind of like the box, like August's box? And we were like, what did he, not what was in it, but when he was like, what did he show Balefire? And it was just like, I know you're Balefire. What if the note arrives and it just says, love thaws? It could happen, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want them to do something like that, but yeah, it could be.
Nelson's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Where was this message before? I froze everybody.
Speaking of love, I think we got a little bit more of the picture of what happened between Will Scarlet and the Red Queen. And that is my interpretation of his emotions and expressions from this was that he lost Anastasia. And he feels like his life is ruined now because he lost his love. Mm-hmm. But what he was saying is that love was worth it. And that's...
Sure, but here's the classic we ruin the story because casting thing. If that's the case and they don't make a story out of it, then I would rather that they had not put him on the show. Just leave the story that he had the way that it is. And if they don't, if she's like dead or something, I think I don't acknowledge his character.
Well, she probably is dead, but they might have had many, many years together because time seemed to basically stand still in Wonderland.
Like, no. Just because you were like, hey, this guy from Wonderland's really popular, let's put him on Once Upon a Time. It was a really great love story. We can't get his wife. Let's kill her, make him cry over some beers and stuff about it. And it'll be part of our story. No.
And make up with Robin.
I don't
Robin do the whole Graham thing by throwing the dart at Will and it hitting the door.
His track record up to that moment was not so great.
Yes.
It would have been kind of great if it had stuck in Will's back. It wouldn't have hurt him. It would have just been funny.
I think he was aiming for Will.
I mean, not funny if it hit me. Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Because Robin was pretty ticked
What code
off.
does that fall under?
That falls under the code of a few too many.
Maybe.
He has been imbued with much dark liquor. Which is not quite as powerful as furniture polish, by the way.
Yeah, no. Different uses. Wow. So many directions, so little time.
The rock troll said... No, not rock troll.
The rock troll?
No. Rumpel said that love is free, but all magic comes with a price. So it makes me wonder if the love that's a result, or if the magic that's... It makes me wonder if the magic that's a result of true love doesn't have a price to it. Although Rumpel did say all magic comes at a price, but love is free.
Dairy? It gets a little fuzzy if you try to think about it.
And when you start talking about magic with a price, does woofing someone with magical powers? That's kind of what Emma does sometimes, or Regina, and the teleportation and that kind of stuff. That's magic. But that's magic. That's simple magic. I think the kind of magic that comes with a price is the magic that affects someone's life.
No. Now you're starting to get into the whole, the curse that covered all the realm only, took some people and only covered part of the realm instead of all the people in all the realm. So all magic comes at a price. Well, kind of some all magic sort of comes at a price sometimes.
Okay. The Duke of Weaselton.
How extra creepy was he?
The moment I saw him, I thought, that's got to be... Or the moment I heard him, I thought, yep, Duke of Weaselton. And I was expecting him to do the dance in some weird way, and sure enough, we got to see that. He didn't say any of this stuff like a clucking chicken or like a butter on a bald monkey or anything like that.
See, I forgot all that stuff. I feel like he was not my favorite character, so I kind of put him out of my head.
Yeah. And his memory was erased too, so that's why he didn't just come back in Frozen and say, "You had an aunt that had this power too, you dark sorceress." By the way, speaking of dark sorcery, let me tell you about the opposite of that. True love magic. And that is given to us kindly in the form of donations for the podcast. And we really appreciate it because all podcasts come with a price.
Well, most of them sometimes.
The price for this podcast has been paid for this episode. So special thanks to those who paid the price for not like died for this.
Wow.
That makes it sound like they died for the podcast.
We'd like to thank those who sacrificed for this podcast.
David Newland, Lisa Slack, Steve Johnson, Kelsey Hunt, Laura Silva, DJ Firewolf, and our 9 Patreon backers. We really appreciate your support of the podcast. It keeps the podcast running, keeps the magic flowing because the magic must flow. And we really appreciate the support. If you would like to become a supporter as well financially, then please go over to oncepodcast.com/sponsor. You can donate with a one-time donation, an automatic monthly donation, which is really what helps us the best, or you can donate per episode. And of all of those, we do have some suggested donation levels, but really you can donate whatever works for you. And we really appreciate the support. If you're not able to donate, then the other way that you can help us is by telling other people about the podcast, tweeting our links, sharing our photos on Facebook, sending people to the podcast. When you look at the show notes for the episode, you see the social buttons at the top and the bottom of the show notes. Click those. Share us on Reddit, on Facebook groups, on Twitter, on Pinterest, on Tumblr, on Dasher, on Prancer, on Vixen, on all of the other social networks named after reindeer. We would love to have your support. And special thanks then to those who supported this episode financially: David, Lisa, Steve, Kelsey, Laura, and DJ Firewolf. We really appreciate it. Thank you. oncepodcast.com/sponsor.
Yeah, thanks so much. In the chat room, they are saying that Snow Queen looked like she turned into milk when she went into the urn. Do you think inside the urn she was ice cream?
Ooh, maybe.
And do you think somebody maybe at some point opened the urn just a little and maybe took a little bite?
Oh, that's getting weird.
And well,
had some on their cereal.
It means that she's just about one bite short of a full ice cream cone.
But
it explains a few things.
She did pour out though, like white milk. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That is an interesting effect. It's quite different from the magic of the hat, which sucks someone in like a vacuum. This was
kind of like a black hole,
liquefying them.
Galactic.
Yeah.
Let the visuals of the magic fit the vessel.
And let the storm rain on.
The hat is less of a hat and more of a universe, galaxy, if you will.
And Ingrid knows more about the hat than Rumple does. Interesting.
But she said she had it. Does that mean she could open it? And how, by the way? And when, by the way?
Yeah, that's true.
I am getting some timeline confusion because she was in the urn, but then she was let out of the urn quite a long time ago.
Right. Well, she was put in the urn before Elsa was even born.
Right.
And then she was let out of the urn in that episode that we saw where Elsa is already queen, now
by
Queen Elsa. Yeah, she was let out by Hans.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
To try and capture Elsa.
Right.
And at some point then after that, a little while after that, that's when she got the hat from Anna and took Anna, put her in the prison cell. And then we have an amount of time that we don't know what she did. We don't know how Elsa ended up in the urn. A lot is still yet to happen that we need to see.
We still don't know what happened to Anna. Either one of them.
Right.
Anna of Arendelle or Anastasia of Scarleton.
Anastasia.
Whatever.
There's Anna and there's Anna.
Fine. Potato.
Yeah. So we would love your feedback on this episode. Send us your theories on what you think might be going on, especially what is it that you think Rumple will be really excited to do, that he said he'll do with pleasure to help cleave himself.
He's going to reopen the ice cream shop. That's all that you have to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of magic there.
So send us your thoughts and theories to feedback@oncepodcast.com or call and leave a voicemail at 903-231-2221. Or you can go to the website and send a voice message through the site oncepodcast.com on your computer or iOS device. Keep in mind that the next episode that we're going to see of Once Upon a Time will be the last episode before Thanksgiving. They're taking that Sunday before Thanksgiving off. And this upcoming episode will be a 2-hour long episode. So make sure that you plan accordingly for that. Check the times that will be showing in your area because some places, especially in different countries, might be shifting the times a little bit differently. But check that. Make sure that you watch the 2-hour event. That'll be awesome. And we're really looking forward to discussing that. Send us your thoughts and theories about this episode of Once Upon a Time for the podcast for our upcoming full discussion on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over at oncepodcast.com/live. Please connect with us on Twitter at Once Podcast and each of us individually on Twitter. I'm Daniel J. Lewis on Twitter at The Ramen Noodle.
I'm Jeremy Laughlin on Twitter at Phlegon. That's PHLEGON.
Comment on the show notes at oncepodcast.com/168. And until next time, I think this ribbon is still beautiful, and it will look quite lovely in my hair. And thanks for listening. Once Podcast is a proud member of Noodle.mx Network. Find more of our award-winning and award-nominated podcasts to make you think, laugh, and succeed at Noodle.mx. Big thanks for our sponsors. Let me say that differently. Big thanks to our sponsors for this episode. If you would like to be one of them and contribute either a one-time donation and an automatic monthly donation, which helps us the best, or a per-episode donation, check out all of your options over at oncepodcast.com/sponsor.